Flashlight Buckaroos, how the heck are you? I'm going to be Tom the Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. Yeah, we're going to do two more highballs, or two more cocktails, I should say. One highball. Um, kind of, again, a variation on a theme. This time I decided to do, well, sort of a version of a Tom Collins using some gin, but I've got a different kind of gin here. This is a Songbird gin, Goldfinch. Gin finished in Sauterne casks. It is at 94 proof. As you can see, you can see the age there. Distilled from grain, our Goldfish Sauterne cast finished gin was the first release in the Songbird series. Our bright, fresh gin evolved in the same Sauterne cast, developing both wood and wine character. It's a very interesting gin. What I did here was I used the lemon lime simple syrup. I did add some additional lemon juice to it to turn it up slightly, and I also put just a little bit of grapefruit bitters in it. Launcha. Now, it's possible that there's those out there that are going to want this sweeter than I do, so you can add more sweetness if you like. Oh, I forgot to add that is top with some club soda. To give it that highball feel, if you will. Is the lemon and lime garnish in there? Again, a nice, refreshing cocktail. And then, because we're using gin this time and not vodka, well, we have additional flavor profile going on. It's a juniper and citrus blend with spice and dried fruit to create a gin, perfect for sipping on ice, straight or mixed in a cocktail. So there you go. It is probably best served pure, I suppose, but it does work here. You get that little bit of juniper mixing with that citrus I've got going on. Making it just a nice, refreshing, light cocktail. So there you go. Cocktail number two, I decided to do a little bit different. So I wanted to do a whiskey sour, or again, a version of, right? So I use that same lemon lime simple syrup, but then I added another ounce of just fresh squeezed lemon juice to tart it up with a little squeeze of lime in there. And again, just a little bit of those grapefruit bitters. But the whiskey I decided to use this time, because I wanted to take it in a slightly different direction, is the Bourbon Rubenesque, a single barrel bottled in bond bourbon from Woodhat Spirits. This one is at 100 proof. Obviously, bottled in bond, it's 100 proof. As mandated by the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897, this product is produced by a single distillery in a single season, aged a minimum of 4 years. Bottled at 100 proof and altered only by adding water to get it down to 100. So there you go. I'm going to finish this one out first, though. Then I'm going to get to that there. I was listening to some Broken Gold Bad Days before I started the video. Sometimes I get in one of those moods. Been going back and forth today. I listened to that earlier, and I switched over some Lee Morgan, was listening to some jazz, some Tina Brooks, and then now I'm back over to depressing post-punk with some Broken Gold. I love the opening line to that song, though. Bad Days, man. This is a perfect cocktail to sit on a patio, as I'm doing here, on your deck, when you're just relaxing, watching the world go by. You got a day off. You're old and tired, like me. Old and tired. Put in a couple long days, and you're just bushed. That's what a cocktail like this is for, just to relax. I'm starting to hear the term come back. It seemed like the term highball was dead there for a little bit. But it seems like everything comes back around eventually. So I'm starting to hear the term highball again. It's typically a refreshing cocktail served in short or tall cylindrical glasses. Cylindrical? Anyways, I usually, this is a tall, obviously. I usually order, when I ordered a highball way back when, I usually use short. So what a lot of folks didn't realize is they would order tall thinking they were getting more liquor. Now, you only get more liquor if you order a double. If you order a tall, it means you're getting more mixer. So I would order a short, usually double short. I did something like a double tall. I didn't like the extra mixer. I wanted to taste the whiskey. Let me get to this one here now, my whiskey sour. Now, if you look up, there's a lot of recipes for whiskey sours. Also, a lot of garnishes you can use. Some call for orange, some call for a cherry. I always preferred to go with citrus. Some call for an egg white. For me, though, an egg white on a whiskey, egg white turns into a Boston sour, not a traditional whiskey sour, where a Boston sour is served straight up, means it's chilled with no ice in the glass. A whiskey sour is that patio cocktail where you got some ice in the glass. So again, for this cocktail, it was 2 ounces of the whiskey, 1 ounce of the simple syrup, and also 1 ounce of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I did put a couple splashes of those grapefruit bitters just to add a little bit of some. Use that little uniqueness. The truth is, a drink could be anything you want it to be. The cocktail police aren't going to show up at your house. You've got those that want to say, "Oh, no, it has to be made this way," and no, it doesn't. I mean, there's millions of recipes for every cocktail you can imagine. There's no one particular right way to do any of them. The right way to fix any cocktail is the way you like it. I never let some snob tell you different. Nice to have a relaxing day off because I always seem like I should be out doing something on my days off, getting some stuff done. But I decided to do absolutely nothing today. I did fix breakfast and I did fix dinner. We tend to, have a day off. We tend to have a late breakfast and then slightly early dinner. That way, we only have the 2 meals, not 3. But that's all I got accomplished today. Really, I just didn't want to do a damn thing. That's a nice cocktail. Yeah, but the thing is, for me anyway, although there is some tartness that syrup I made with the lemon and the lime, the fresh lemon zest, the fresh squeezed lime. To make a whiskey sour, you need a little bit more of that tartness, which is why I added another ounce of just fresh squeezed lemon juice. If you want to add something else, by all means, do what you got to do. But and again, for me here, if I'd have had an orange, I might have used some in there. I had the lemon, I had the lime. That's what I had. And I'm a big believer in working with what you have. Improvise, even the garnish. Again, there are folks that say you have to have certain things to make certain drinks, and that's not necessarily true. There's always a way. There's always a way to improvise. Now, sometimes you can't make a specific cocktail, but what I'm saying is, yeah, you don't have to use specific cherries or orange or lime or whatever. Get the spirit of the drink and use what you have on hand. I do like that whiskey though. Most whiskey sour recipes will call for either a bourbon or a rye, and I decided to go with a bourbon here. But I would go with a traditional bourbon that uses rye as a secondary grain. I think a wheated bourbon would be just a little sweet in a cocktail such as this. But then again, I'm old. I'm an old school guy. I know folks. It seems like the millennials like to use wheated bourbons in their old fashions and other cocktails, and for me, it's just too sweet. You've really got to use that traditional. If you're not using rye, you've got to use a traditional bourbon, or it's just too sweet. And for me, they don't typically have enough body. A wheated bourbon will make it a little sweeter, but also softens that body just a little bit. And when you're making a cocktail like an old fashioned, for instance, it's just going to make it way too sweet and too soft for an old palate. It seems the youngsters like it that way. I don't know. It just seems just too sweet for me. Uh, man, that was good though. Yeah, balances it nicely so it isn't a very sweet whiskey sour. I got just enough lemon juice in there to really bring just a little bit of tart to the surface. So there you go. Anyways, I digress. Uh, but I digress, man. I'm Dr. Whiskey Whisper, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom, and all around good guy. Slant you.